to, that's it, I mean, you don't want to, I force myself to read every page, don't read it, you're not obliged, and so on. But that's, it forced myself, that's what it took me to write it. I had to force myself to write every page. It's, forget that you have to force yourself to read it. I forced myself to try to tease this material out and explain it. Okay. The fill is a very important circle of usages, and it has to do with the Nachniman Nicodemus material. So I have 5 chapters on that in the Nachniman versus Nicodemus in my Gospel, in my New Testament code book. Anyway, the broken pieces, the 12 baskets, were full, and they did eat 5,000 men, besides women and children. 5,000 is always the number of Essenes that Josephus gives. Or in the Pseudo-Clementines, the 5,000 that flee down to to Jericho with James after the riot led in the temple by Paul. So 5,000 is always the number of Essenes. 4,000 or 5,000 is the number of Essenes, and even the people who went out in the wilderness originally with Judas Maccabee, I think you'll find. In any case, not with Judas Maccabee, some others in those early Maccabean experiences who lived in the wilderness. With Alexander Onias, I think it was. Anyway, Mark. His disciples came, it was a desert place, and Mark includes now the 200 penny worth, you notice, that I think John has. So Mark has combined both John and Matthew here. So you see, what do you mean John doesn't agree with the other Gospels? It's almost impossible to unconnect or disconnect them. Sometimes they have one, sometimes they have the other. And how many loaves do you have? And they said, 5 and 2 fishes. And he commanded them all to sit down. Okay, that's like Matthew. And they sat down in hundreds and fifties, and so on and so forth. And it's much more, Mark here is usually supposed to be more compressed. Here it's much more prolix. And they were filled. They took up the 12 baskets and also the fishes, and there were 5,000. Anyway, Luke basically is like Matthew, and then he entered a boat in Matthew, and they go to the other side of the river, and he goes to a mountain to pray. Now, John has, when therefore the people saw the sign, you see, John knows it's a sign. John 6:14. So that's like the sign, you see. And they say, this is truth, the prophet that would come into the world. Well, what's that? The true prophet. The true prophet. And where's the true prophet ideology found most of all? In Ebionitism. In Jewish Christianity, that is the true prophet ideology. So that comes in there. It's not in the other Gospels. And they wanted to make him a king, but he didn't, and he withdrew into a mountain alone. Okay, so there we've got that, right? Now, let me see if I can get it here, the second version of this miracle. I think we'll find it. Where are you? Oh, here it is. Matthew 15. And there's a lot in between I'll pick up next time. Make me pick up the stuff I skipped next time, okay? And Jesus said unto his disciples and said, I have compassion on the multitude. And they left, and the disciples said unto him, when should we have so many leaves in the desert to fill the multitude? 15:33, Matthew. Loaves, not leaves, loaves, in the desert place. And he said, how many loaves have you? 7, and a few small fishes. What was it in the other episode?
5.
Yeah. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground. And he gave thanks and brake and gave to the disciples and they did all eat and were filled. Oh, this is the same thing repeated, just with different numbers. It's not different. Miracle. And there remained over the broken pieces 7 baskets. Is that what it was in the previous one? 7 baskets? Huh? Well, you guys are quicker than me. Let me see. Flick back. And they ate and were satisfied. 12. So now it's 7. So the numbers just toss them in the air and flick them around. These people don't care about the numbers. It really means means nothing. I show all these numbers are related to the Talmudic episodes in which the parallels exist. I can't do it here because I don't have the Talmudic passages for you about this Noctimon character who's supposed to make rain and the rain making I tried to show. But look at it! How many disciples are there? 4,000. So you see, in the Josephus materials and the Jewish Christian materials, there's 4,000 Essenes sometimes there's 5,000. Let's just swing back and forth with those numbers. Let's look at Mark here quick, not paralleled in Luke and John. And he said, how many loaves have you? 7. He took the 7 loaves, gave thanks, and then a few small fishes. Having blessed them, he commanded. Yeah, there were 4,000. Now there's another one here where there's a third version somewhere where Jesus explains all this. God, where is it? Oh, here it is. Matthew 16:5. First in 16:1, Pharisees and Sadducees start bothering him again. Signs, looking for a sign like John, right? I'll try to finish this, like I said I would. Same in Mark 8:11, seeking a sign, tempting him like, in the wilderness temptation episodes earlier. And Jesus said, there shall be no sign for this generation, and angrily gets into a boat and departs the other side. Okay. And he said, oh, it'll be the sign of Jonah in Matthew, so that varied. In Matthew, that's why you need the harmony. See what the different people do. These are not historical materials. Each narrator, editor adds his own spin on it. And then it varies previous episodes. It's just varying. Where's the historical kernel? I don't think it's here. But that's up to you. Someone said, well, then you don't believe in the historical Jesus. No, I never said that. I do believe in the historical Jesus. But where do you find him? You've got to look for the historical James. So in my view, James did not depart very much from what his previous predecessor would have taught. And who knew the historical Jesus better? James or Paul? Well, all history says Paul, but I say James. Because I don't believe that Pat Buchanan knows me. The enemy can't know. I don't think Mel Gibson knows me. I'm not talking about spiritual saviors. I'm just talking about people. He suddenly can't get the doctrine and get it right. Not those kind of people, for sure. And that's what Paul